Hi everyone, I'm Avantika Kansal and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to discuss about the book Yasmeena's Choice. So let me just brief you a little about this book. This book is written by one of my favorite author, Jean Sasson. You might have heard about it, and if you are a regular follower of my channel, you must have seen me reviewing one of her other book, Esther's Child. So Esther's Child was a fictional book based on real events. But here, Yasmeena's Choice is a non-fictional book. So it talks about a girl whose name is Yasmeena. Of course, Yasmeena is a stage name which is given to her by the author to protect her identity. Because whatever this book talks about is very deep and dark. So of course, author wanted to protect her identity, and so did the victim here. But Yasmeena's choice, it's her journey during the Gulf War. So basically, this book talks about Yasmeena's life, how her life changed during Gulf War. So basically, she was an air hostess from Lebanon. So she was a Lebanese girl, and that day on 2nd August 1990, when the Gulf War broke, let me just give you a little definition of Gulf War, like what happened at that point in time. So Gulf War was basically Iraqi troops, Iraqi soldiers, by then led by their leader Saddam Hussein had invaded Kuwait because of some loan that they wanted to get rid of. And this is a huge discussion which was already going on between Iraq and Kuwait. And Iraqi people were, of course, Iraqi government was already telling them that we might invade you, but no one believed that. And just one fine day, Iraqi soldiers just came to Kuwait, and Kuwait, being such a small country, of course very well off country as compared to Iraq, very well off. There's no comparison also, but very small in terms of number of people. Also, there was there was no proper people to take care of the country. So there was no one on the war front. There was no army existent. There was hardly any training given to the people there to protect the country. And whatever army was there, they just surrendered within no time. And you can read about the Gulf War in detail. In fact, there's another book of Jean Sasson, Rape of Kuwait. So I would be discussing about that book also in my subsequent videos. But let's now coming back to the point. Yasmeena had flew in to Kuwait at that day only, on 2nd August 1990, when Iraqi troops invaded the country, and no one knew till 1st August daytime. No one knew that something like that could also happen. So yeah, so and Kuwait used to be considered, and is still considered, to be very rich and very sound economy and a country. So no one even thought like that, and it was a regular day for her, and she was trapped. And now whosoever was in Kuwait at that point in time, no matter even if they were Kuwaiti or not Kuwaitis, they were not spared by the Iraqi soldiers, by Iraqi troop, because they were very uh, horrific in nature. So that also you can do your research, like whatever how they conducted and whatever happened. But I'm coming back to Yasmeena's choice. So now Yasmeena had no choice. Of course, she had no choice. She could not fly back to her country. So she was trapped, and now she was trapped, and she was taken in by one of the Iraqi soldier who was the head, who was the captain of the troop, and he molested her and raped her. But Yasmeena survived all that. She survived all that, and that too very tactfully. So this is what she talks about in this book, that the captain still was okay with her because she was a very witty person who wanted to survive, whereas there were a lot of girls trapped in the very same area where she was trapped. And they went through a lot of brutalities which are explained in this book. You can read it for yourself, and of course it is one of the most brutal chapter in the books of history. And this book talks about only those girls, what went with them, how they survived, if not how could they not survive, what all happened behind the scenes, which generally people don't try to talk about. They just try to put it under the carpet, or just want to rub it behind the bush. So no one wants to talk about all these things, but this girl, she came forward and she told everything to the author, and then author was able to take other testimonials also from other rape survivors at that point in time. Of course, no one. Of course, they went through therapy, and this girl Yasmeena was able to get back to her country, but she was in a very bad state. She went through therapy, and after years of therapy, she would come out and talk about all these things. And similar things happened with a lot of people, a lot of girls died also. Such pains were inflicted on them. And it also talks about how Iraqi soldiers had not seen so much luxury, so much money, because of course it was a struggling country back then. They hardly had anything to eat, whereas Kuwait was a very, very rich country, which it still is. So that kind of lifestyle and luxury and everything which the Iraqi soldiers also saw, um, got them into a very heinous mindset. And this book talks about all those things. So this book, if you would ask me, it's a 10 on 10. If anyone, if you guys have interest about such serious topics, and about Middle East, what has happened, the kind of wars that have taken place, or anything about history, or anything about law of attraction or business, then you should first of all go subscribe my channel and follow my channel. And second of all, you should definitely try to read this book. So I read this book on Kindle. I bought it almost 6 years back, and this was one of the first book I read when I actually developed this keen interest in all these topics. So this is not a very expensive book. Again, if you have a Kindle, you can just get your copy today, and if you don't have a Kindle, you can just order it from Amazon or any other website. I am not sure how available this book would be in physical stores. It could be available. I don't really know about that, but yeah, definitely read this book.